Hi guys, Gijoe here. Welcome back to my bunker here in Atlanta, Georgia. Today's video, I want to talk to you about continuing my table design for my custom table. And this video is going to deal with some of my design specifications as well as my trays for my different custom pieces. So I got in today a package, which we'll be talking about in a second. There it is, and we'll let you know how that affects my custom table. So if you've seen any of my previous videos, you're aware that my table kind of looks like this. And on either side, I have my allied nations, and my Axis nations over there. And I just kind of have the coasters for every nation out here on the side with my national objective cards, roundels, dice, etc. For pieces, I have to consistently pull out trays like this, open these trays, pull out the piece I want, close the tray. Gets to be a hassle after a while. So in my custom table design, I wanted something to have quick access to all my pieces here without having to open and close my trays. And so that's what I am working on now. And so that is what is in this box right here. Okay, I'm kind of changing up my table design here slightly from my first video. And that is, as you can see here, I'm going to have a 96-inch or 8-foot long table and then 58 inches wide. Now that's just shy of 5 feet, 2 inches shy. And that's for a specific reason. I want everything to fit nice and snug. And based on my measurements, I think the 58 inches will work. Around the outside edge is going to be a 6-inch border or kind of frame. These will be 1x6s, and it will go on all sides, as you can see. And this side down here will be the allies. And what I did was I put in some spots for some cup holders. And of course up here is the axis, and you see cup holders for the axis as well. Now, I only put 3 on a side because, if you look at the rules, if there are enough players, then the allies, one player will play USSR and France, the other US and China, the other UK and Anzac. And then, of course, I have a cup holder for Japan, Italy, and Germany. This right here, section in the middle, is going to be my 72-inch by 32 3/4 inch custom map. And it's going to be elevated 2 to 4 inches off of the plane of this surface here. And this area right around here is a moat. And when I say moat, there's not going to be water in it, of course. But it's 6 inches wide here, 6 inches wide here. In here, it's 12 inches wide, and you'll see why in a minute. And this area in here is where all my custom trays are going to go for my pieces, my dice, my flight stands, tanks, men, all those kinds of things. So this frame around here, like I said, is going to be 6 inches, and then this little moat here is going to drop down about 2 to 3 inches. And then this map will then be elevated either 2 to 4 inches off the table. So it will be a moat kind of going around. Let me show you the inspiration for this framework right here. And that is this picture right here. Now, the gentleman whose table's designed this is, the name escapes me right now, but I will put the link and his name in the description to give him credit for this, of course. But I really like what he did here, and that is you can see the 6-inch wide frame going around his table. Of course, he's got his cup holders here, and he even has little slots for dice. I'm not sure I'm going to do that or not. But, of course, this is a square table. Mine will be rectangular. But that's the inspiration for this frame right around here. And I want something that's 6 inches wide, that's wide enough to lean on. You can put a drink there. If you want to put some national objective cards there, fine. If you want to, I'm not sure I'm going to do this dice tray or what have you there, or maybe you can put our IPCs there. There's some options available with that 6-inch wide frame. So the area in this moat right here, I need some trays. So what I did was I used to live in Texas, and I remember there was this place called the Container Store. So I looked up the Container Store online, and I found these really, really nice bamboo wooden drawer organizers. So all I did was in the search window was I typed in wooden drawer organizers, And of course it pulled up the bamboo drawers. And there are several different sizes. The sale is great. They're $3 to $6 each, US. All of the heights of these is 2 inches high. And of course you have different sizes. This is a 3x6. That's a 6x6 square. I think this is a 6x9. No, 6x12, 6x9 if I'm not mistaken. So in order to find out what I needed, what I did was I simply took measurements and I made some little templates like this. So this is a 3x6. This is a 6x6 square. And I simply made templates, started laying stuff around to see what I would need to hold my chips and all the little different things that I wanted. So what I came up with was this right here. This is my schematic. I have 4 6x6 to hold my custom dice by Cider Blood. I'm going to have a bank. I've got for chips, and these are my damaged chips, and of course along here at the bottom will be my flight stands separated by category. I've got my fighters, my TACs, my bombers, some fuel gauges, navies and subs, factories, all those kinds of things, and there will be a dice tray here as well on this side. So if you go back to this original, you can see that over here on the left, this is side A, and all of this stuff that I just showed you is going to fit right into here. And if you look at my measurements, I have 58 inches wide minus the 12 inches for 6-inch frames on each side. That leaves 46 inches. When I add up all of these inches wide, it gets 33 inches. It leaves me 13, which leaves me room for about a 13 by 12 or so dice tray for rolling my dice. So, like I said, I got these at the Container Store in Texas. And so let's go over here and let you see what it actually looks like. And bam. These are fantastic. I am so pleased with these. Like I said, all of these are 2 inches high, as you can see. You've got 2 inches high. The craftsmanship is good. They're nice and sturdy. And this is a 3x6. And I got a lot of the 3x6s because they fit some of the smaller things, like right here I have my factories by Shapeways. Of course I've got my acrylics, my naval bases, and my submerged sub acrylics. And let me go a little bit higher here so you can get a little bit of a bird's eye view. There we go. So I also have over here in the far left corner, I've got my damaged chips, of course, for ships and factories. Of course, plenty of chips. And then what I did was I organized my flight stands, as I told you earlier, by fighters, TACs, and bombers. And these are the absolutely perfect shape box for these flight stands. I can fit 5 across and 11 down. So I've got plenty extra fighter stands because, as you can see, I've already got my board set up for opening set here. And then, of course, you can see my TACs and my bombers, my fuel gauges, rather. And then what I decided to do was, rather than have one gigantic dice box to hold all of my dice, which I could have done, I thought I would separate them out just to make it easier to grab. So if you need, if you need 3 1s and 2 2s, it makes it a lot easier to get. And then, of course, you will roll them. And then you can just put them back when you're done. So I might put some felt or something in here just so they don't kind of clink and scratch and all that. But, I'll make that determination later. In the middle, I have my bank. And again, I might put some felt in here just to make this a little bit, but I'm not sure on that. Now, on my measurements, I measured correctly, but I ordered incorrectly. So, well, I know I didn't order incorrectly. What I did was, originally this was going to be a 6x9 because this right here, this chip tray is a 6x9. Well, as you can see, I'm 3 inches off. So I was going to put 6x9 here, and that's what gives me my 33 inches. But I decided that for my bank, I wanted a little bit more room. So I'm not sure yet. I'll see if my chips will fit, my IPCs will fit inside of this. And if they do, then I can go to my original measurements. If not, I really like the way that my bank is. I like how it's a lot bigger. So what I might do is buy one more 3x6, stick it in here, and that'll be an extra, catch-all for some other type of customization or what have you. I'm sure I can figure out something to put there. So the only thing that's not here is my dice tray. I didn't find like a 13x12 or 12x12 bamboo on the Container Store site. Maybe I just have to search a little bit more, but this is going to be all on my side A, and it's going to fit nicely right in there. The only thing that's missing, like I said, is my dice tray. Now, I got a couple of other boxes, and that is this right here, for instance. I think this is a 3x12. Yeah. This is a 3x12. Of course, it's 2 inches high. And I'm not sure, I might consider putting, maybe making this be my bank and having it to where it can divide. Like there'll be, if I put two of them side by side like this, I've got a divider. But I tried that already, and my fat fingers can't get down in there, so I might keep it like it is. But what these are also good for is if you don't mind having your pieces all mixed in together, you can use them for a country. So that works really, really nice. And like I said, that's 3 inches wide and 2 inches high. So that would work well. I personally don't like everything mixed together like that. That bothers me a little bit. But let me show you what I'm going to do for every nation now on my front side and my back side of the table. I'll show you how I'm going to use these great bamboo trays in a minute. Okay, so here's where it gets interesting. So I took the trays that I bought for my side A, which I just showed you, and I did a little bit of experimenting around, and I came up with a configuration that I think is going to work for me. As I said before, I don't like everything being in one tray because it takes too long to find pieces. I do prefer the individual slots that you have, like in the white plastic trays, like the fishing tackle trays, how everything has its own tray, like the roundel will have a tray, the men, the tanks, but I can't find a way to fit that within the size of my board. So I think this is the next best option. So of course we have our Air Force here, we have our Navy. These are some of my custom factories by HBG, along with some artillery and armor, and of course mechanized infantry. Here we have my infantry, and of course your roundels, IPC chips, and right now I'm putting my national objective cards in here, but I still think I'm going to do that idea where I have a little kind of angled wall here going up to my raised map, so that they are out and to where you can easily see them, so you don't have to constantly fish through all of your cards to determine what national objective you need to get or what monies you may have forgotten to collect. So I still think I want to do that, so this probably won't be a part of that. Now, the measurement for this is why this works so wonderfully, is 15 inches. So I've got three 3x6s, a 6x6 square, and what I did was I measured the width, the length of my table, which is 96 inches, which is 8 feet. And then if I take my three 3x6s, my 6x6 square, that's 15. And so if I take my 96 inches here of the length of my table, I have to subtract 12 inches for this little gap right here for side A, where I'm going to put all of my customized, my dice tray, and etc. Then I also have to subtract 6 inches for my frame on this side. Okay, and what that gives me is enough space to do. France will have its own tray here. USSR will have its own collection of trays, and the UK, and then ANZAC. So all those, 1, 2, 3, 4, along with USA, ends up being 75 inches. 15 times 5 is 75. That leaves 3 inches left. Well, since USA has to work with China, I'm going to buy one more 3x6, stick it on the end there, and stick my Chinese roundels and infantry in there. So that means my things fit snugly right in this side right here, my little moat. Now, of course, the axis won't be nearly as tight because there's only 3 countries up there. So the axis will have, again, the same configuration. It'll just be 15 inches times 3. And the reason I'm doing it like this, I think, is originally I thought that I might like create all these different little fences and such to put pieces in, but then once I do that, it's like done, and I can't move it. It's permanent. But having these bamboo trays like this, I can move them around and make whatever configuration I like. So if I want to take the bank from here, move the bank over here to have one of these players operate the bank, I can do that. I can shift trays around. I can come up with lots of different configurations. So that's why I really like these bamboo trays. Like I said, I highly recommend these if you're looking at some type of tray to get them out and exposed. They're fairly inexpensive. Like I said, $3 to $6 each. All total for just the trays for side A right here, I think I spent around $70. Not totally cheap, but I did buy a lot of boxes, and I essentially have everything I need for side A. What I didn't buy yet, I didn't buy all of these trays for the sides for the different nations. So it's basically going to be 3 3x6s and 1 6x6 times, you know, what, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 times 8 nations plus 1 extra 3x6 for China. So I'll save up and do that. But anyways, hope you enjoy. Hope this is helpful. And like I said, if you want to continue to watch how I'm going to build my table, please follow along. And from time to time, you might see that I've made some changes from my original design, but I'm really liking the way I'm heading so far, and look forward to having a finished product pretty soon, guys. Thanks for watching.